So, like a lot of us that grew up in the past 30, 40 years, if you will, one of the cartoons that we always watch, or always grew up watching, and even to this day are still fond of, is Tom and Jerry. But what really got me curious lately is one thing YouTube does, through the WB sometimes, or even through various other content creators, is share compilations of various Tom and Jerry moments. And one compilation that made me curious if they had it or not was the girlfriends of Tom and Jerry, mostly Jerry. And I looked that up, and it did come up with a few compilations. Love interest, Cupid, in the mood for love, stuff like that. But I've always been curious about one thing. You see, we know that Tom, he'll get lucky once in a while to, get a love interest, mostly Toodles, or Toots, or whatever her name is. He'll mostly get her. But what's interesting though, is that Jerry is the one that's always more fortunate. Like currently, according to various sources, he has a girlfriend named Cherie, Cherie Mouse. Basically, it's a female version of him, just lighter color. Now, with that said, it's interesting to look at his love life, if you will, because this is what makes it hard to do any kind of video on Tom and Jerry's love interest or love life and everything, because it's so full of variety. I mean, Jerry, again, like I said, currently his girlfriend, according to sources, is Cherie Mouse. She was actually introduced in a classic 1950s cartoon or 60s cartoon, I believe, at the end. You see, basically, this was a cartoon where Tom was in love first with somebody. It totally blew Jerry off because Jerry was always used to his daily being chased routine. And then at the end, Jerry ends up doing it to Tom by falling for Cherie. But what's interesting, though, like I said, and this is what makes it complicated, is his love life is full of variety. Tom, mostly it's either Toodles or Toots, and that's about it. Jerry, on the other hand, is Mr. Casanova. And I'm not just talking Mr. Casanova when it comes to female counterparts of the mice kind, no. I'm talking female Casanova of both the mouse and the dog and the bird and the fish kind, and even alien and animatronic kind. I'm not lying. I'm not lying about that. And it's so weird. In fact, there's this one female cat. I can't think of her name, and I looked it up on Fandom, and I didn't see her there. But there's this one female cat with brown hair and everything. She's small. She's like a small cat. And we first seen her in a Tom and Jerry short where she was all about the zoot suit like music. Maybe you guys can help me out on that. Tell me what her name is. I don't know if it's Toots or something else. But basically, she ends up, I don't know what it is in future appearances, but she ends up liking Jerry. Literally, she does. She's very protective of him. She likes being with him. It's just weird when you see him with her. Instead of chasing him like a cat should, she'd rather be spending time with him, hanging out, getting to know each other, stuff like that. Now, again, like I said, he is Mr. Casanova when it comes to all kinds of female characters. It's no joke. Again, that one cat girl, that's one thing. There's another small cat girl that we get introduced to. It's the second appearance of her, and now she's in a speaking role called Toots. That's right. We actually get introduced to Toots in her second appearance, where she does speak. And what's crazy is at the end, she ends up with Jerry. And that's like, wait a minute. Jerry's supposed to be like her, like Tom's gift to her and everything, right? And all that, but then she ends up falling for him, or something at the end brings them together. And if that's not all, again, I talked about Toodles. That's happened on numerous occasions. There's another girl that's kind of Toodles-like called Tara. And she was in one of the Tom and Jerry shorts that took place in the West. And she spoke. She spoke, and this was and it's the short. I can't think of the name right now, but it's the short where Jerry sets Tom's foot in fire, and it's one of the rare times you hear him speak just once. And he's like, "What's cooking, babe?" or something like that, and she's like, "You are." So yeah, there's her, because I guess he kisses her at the end or something. I don't know. Again, the other two female cats I talked about, there's those. There's the Cherie mouse. And then again, there's other characters. Like there's an animated short, I can't think of the name, but I've seen it numerous times. I don't know if it's a Chuck Jones one or what it is, but he's in love with a female goldfish who's in love with him too. And it's like, what? He's like, excuse me? It's like, what? How is that possible? But then if that's not all, if that's not all, we go back to Chuck Jones. And there's a short that centers around the circus, and a female elephant is in love with Jerry. Now, I don't know if it's because he saved her from something or what, or she's protective of him because, she looks at him like her child. But obviously the way they portray it, it's basically love, is what it is. And it's like, well, excuse me? Excuse me? It's just, I mean, when you compare the two, honestly, Tom's love life is more simplified than Jerry's. Literally, it is. More simplified than Jerry's. I mean, you take a look at some of the various, animated movies, direct-to-video animated films, and they have love interest in there for him. They have an alien love interest for him. They have a female queen mouse love interest for him. I mean, it's like holy Gemenia. Holy Gemenia, it's like what? It's just so crazy and everything. It's just so crazy. And again, like I said, you compare the two, Tom's is a lot more simpler. It is. His is a lot more simpler than Jerry's. Because all you have to do is, with one hand, I should say, list off the number of female love interests he's had, and that's it. And you're looking at 2 or 3. That's it. Jerry, on the other hand, Jiminy Christmas. It's like, what? I mean, going back to, I don't know if that's the Go to Mars one, or it's one of the episodes from the recent Tom and Jerry shows, but the alien girl he falls for, what does she do at the end? She opens up her ears with basically they're like, I guess you could say, braids or something, or designed that way, opens them up, and literally closes them around Jerry and kisses him. Like, this is private. And she gives him a sultry look, and it's like, it's just when you compare the two, his is so much more complex than Tom's will ever be. And that's a fact. It's so much more complex than Tom's would ever be. And look, I'm glad they do in recent shows. I'm glad they settled him down with one love interest, or at least they're trying to. I'm glad they're doing that. I know they're trying to do that with Tom, because there is a Tom and Jerry's episode, I think it's from Tom and Jerry Tales or something like that. We have multiple females in there. One actually lives on the street and everything, who basically brags about the fact that she makes the best fish casserole in town. So it's like, you can name, like I say, the number of love interests Tom has. Literally, you can. 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. In one hand. Jerry's is like all over. It really is. And it's all dependent on what the writers want. I mean, yeah, recently they've been putting, like I said, they give him one established love interest, but depending on the story and everything, they'll give him somebody else. Like, for example, there was a short in one of the Tom and Jerry's Tales episodes when it was on Saturday mornings. I do remember watching this, and I'm glad they did a compilation of this and everything, where Tom creates this animatronic female mouse. And, you know, she is meant to trap Jerry. But what happens is because Jerry has fallen for her and everything, it gives her, you know, an independence of her own. To the point that she basically saves Jerry by beating the hell out of Tom. Literally. And it's like, okay, at least you're trying to, you know, you're trying to basically stay within the species, if you will, but you know, but Jerry's, you know, love life is so complex and so intriguing and so like, you know, okay, what is going on here, that he's able to give animatronic robotic beings, female ones, life of their own, thought independency of their own. It's like what? You know, just blows your mind. I mean, I get in a lot of cartoons back in the past 60, 50, 70 years, you know, giving the main characters a love interest, even for one, you know, animated short, you know, that's somewhat of a common thing. You know, you do it for one short, maybe a couple of shorts, and that's fine. That's just, you know, that's just the way things are because you want to expand on the characters. But heck, I look at characters outside of Tom and Jerry. I look at characters like Bugs Bunny. I look at characters like Daffy Duck. I look at characters like who else? It just slipped off the tip of my tongue. You know, I look at characters like Woody Woodpecker and everything. And yeah, you can give them love interest in the animated shorts, but obviously, even back then, they're trying to set a trend. They are. They're trying to set a trend for the characters. I mean, Daffy had a love interest back then called Melissa, who Shirley the Loon was of Tiny Toons is based off of. And who did he get in the Looney Tunes show? Tina. He got Tina Russo. And guess what? You can count the love interest with only 2 fingers. 2 or 3 fingers, and that's it. That's it. Bugs, same thing. You take a look at the early female love interest of his, you know, like once or twice or something like that, and you can count like 2 or 3 on there, Lola being the more recent one. So you're like you're looking at like, what, 1, 2, 4, maybe a hand's worth with Bugs and Lola being the more recent one. It's like, seriously. And then Sylvester, he has a freaking love interest. Porky, Petunia. I mean, it's like, you know, when you look at their love interests and everything, at least, you know, you can count on one hand, you know, how many they are, and at least you know by name who they are, or by design who they are. Jerry, on the other hand, to me, out of all characters, you know, all characters, you know, under the Warner Brothers line right now, is the most complex out of them all when it comes to this. He is. He is. I mean, think about it. Think about it. For anybody that's grown up with Tom and Jerry, you know, in the past 70, 60, 40 years, 50 years, tell me when I'm telling lies, if you have not watched the Tom and Jerry short of the classic era and the recent era, tell me when I'm telling lies, you know, tell me, is it me, or does it seem like, and again, tell me when I'm telling lies, is it me, or does it seem like Jerry, you know, Jerry's love life is like, hey, if he can't get it on with this girl, or get through with this girl, guess what, he can go on to the next. The guy's a pimp mouse, if you will, on the good natural side. He's on the good natural side. I mean, I'm not saying he's like Tails. of Sonic the Hedgehog when it comes to fanfic writers and official writers and all that. With Leaks with Tales, you pretty much have an idea through fanfic writers and official content who he's meant to be with. I mean, from an official perspective, it's Cosmo, it's Zoe, it's Stacy or Percy. Come on. Come on. It's like, at least there he's got someone. All right? Or even Fiona, or Little Moon. You at least know who his love interests are, and you can count them within the palm of your hand, plus one. Fanfic-wise, you add those along with, certain MILFs, if you will, mothers of established Sonic characters and from Archie Sonic, and it's like, yeah, he's kind of close and complicated love life if you add in the fanfic stuff, but from an official capacity, it's like, no, easy to figure out. Jerry, here in Tom and Jerry, though, it's like, seriously, this guy, is a Mac daddy, as they would say. He is a Mac daddy when it comes to women. There's no doubt. He is a Casanova. Like I said, he is a pure Casanova. Because again, let me put it this way. It doesn't matter if it's another female mouse, like his current girlfriend apparently called Cherie Mouse, or it's a female cat like Toots, Toodles, or whoever that female cat was with the blue ribbon and the hair and everything. It doesn't matter if it's her. It doesn't matter if it's Toodles. It doesn't matter if it's Toots, Tara. It doesn't matter if it's the goldfish. It doesn't matter if it's that elephant. It doesn't matter if it's the female alien. It's like this guy is and I hate to say this word, he's a chick magnet, is what he is. Girls can't resist him. Even if they're built and animatronic-wise to capture him and take him back to the master, somehow he has some kind of way to give him independence. It's just like, I ain't working, and it causes the animatronic to be like, I ain't working for you anymore. I'm here to protect my love interest. Bam! It's like this mouse is Mr. Mac Daddy Casanova, is what he is. There's no doubt. Again, if you compare him with Tom, 1, 2, 3 fingers. That's all you need to count Tom's love interest. Jerry, on the other hand, it's like I said about Tails. Jerry is a ladies' mouse of a man. He's a ladies' mouse of a man, and there's no denying that. But it is so conflicting to even for anybody to. I mean, this is why I don't think anybody has ever done really a video on Tom and Jerry's love life. Mostly Jerry's. Because they know it's so complex. It's so like, where do we start? Where do we begin? That's how crazy it is. And again, tell me when I'm telling lies, dude. But anyway, let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Do you agree with me on this? Do you think it's complex, X, or do you think it's easier to figure out than I'm trying to even let on or even try to figure out? Let me know down below. Let me know in the live chat during the premiere, as well as with a super chat if you want to do that in the live chat. Also, check out the Teespring store, or as well for merchandise you can't get anywhere else. Also, check out BW Rosa's Discussions podcast at all your favorite audio podcast locations except for Pandora, but mostly check it out at Spotify. That'll help me out in the long run. Also, check me out at Patreon, and check me out at DeviantArt at BVW1979. But guys, give me your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you're thinking, how you feel about this. Do you believe it's as complex as I'm making it, or do you think it's simpler? Let me know, and I'll talk to you later.